All right, guys, we are jumping back in with round two. We have GOGETA XENO taking on Syn Shenron here. So
You know I'm excited for this one.
the rivalry doesn't stop. We've got so far out of 2 rounds, 4 completely different leaders. I'm loving that. Always excited to see different leaders coming to different rounds, because then at least that way it keeps the stream fresh, it keeps you guys entertained, it keeps us entertained. But what is not entertaining is Syn Shenron.
Disagree. I disagree. Yeah, for those that don't know, I've played Syn Shenron quite a bit. It's definitely my favorite deck. I love seeing it. I love playing it. I love talking about it. Oh, I want more of it.
So we've already figured out, guys, Ryan will be taking over all the commentary for the Syn Shenron, and I will be taking over all the commentary for the GOGETA XENO. GOGETA XENO
experience, yeah.
I do. Yeah, I was kind of in this phase where I didn't really know what deck I wanted to play. I'm a very aggressive type of card player. I do like to play a lot of red, but unfortunately red has not been in the spotlight for about a set or two, so I kind of transitioned over to black, which was quite interesting to me. I played a couple of different black leaders, but yeah, I am genuinely keen to obviously jump back into some red shenanigans, because I feel like there is some decent support coming out in the next set, and yeah, I am very interested to see if that can kind of really put red back on the map. It kind of feels like it has been unrepresented in top flight for quite some time now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're starting off the game here. We've got the 9-drop Syn being charged in energy. One of the just absolute monster card in this card game. That card just does so much.
So hard to remove. Obviously, there's a lot of cards out there that deal with energy costs up to like 7. Some of them, some of them up to, obviously there is no energy cost specifically. It's just, if the card is higher than your energy cost, yeah, you can deal with it, but not many interactions with that 9 cost, that's for sure.
Yeah, and no turn 1 play from Simon. We see that he just a charge and pass, so not utilizing any of the 1-drop balls, not utilizing the Ice Shenron that searches him from the deck. So even the Oceanus, which searches the top 5, so he must have missed on all of those cards, or perhaps kept the energy open to deal with this Sword in the Dark Empire he was expecting. But you would assume that you're still going to play that 1-drop ball. You want to get the Syn Shenron chain going immediately. You expect to take this double strike here, and then try and remove it on your turn 2 and establish a 9-drop. So perhaps just, yeah, an absolute whiff from hand, but he's definitely felt the onslaught from GOGETA XENO on that turn 1.
That is 3 life, and that is the crazy thing about GOGETA XENO and GOGETA XENO going second. You can put that much pressure on, and there you go, there's the ball. So it really looks like you just couldn't find it on turn 1, because what other turn 1 plays do you really have as Syn Shenron, and if you're going against thwarting? Do you just keep a negate in hand or something like that just to kind of stop the double strike? Doesn't really matter. Oh, I guess, well, actually, the ball can't be removed from your battle area by skills, right?
That's right, yeah. That's definitely what you want for first turn. You need to establish that. You need to get that 9-drop on the field as soon as possible, I feel. And you've got options to remove the GOGETA XENO on your turn with the Haze combo. Once you get rid of that GOGETA XENO, if you've got the 9-drop on the field, you're not as worried about it as much anymore, because once it gets played, its skills obviously get negated. GOGETA XENO is a on attack warp, so it's negated before it's able to do anything, and from there you can start gaining control of the game. Whereas here, he's going to be able to establish the 4-drop, lock the leader down from attacking next turn, but thwarting the Dark Empire is just going to be able to warp this 4-drop immediately.
So the question that, I'm not sure, maybe it's, the experience, like, against playing, against playing the thwarting, because maybe he thought that his ball would be warped when the thwarting swung, or maybe he genuinely just didn't have it. Obviously, hard to tell in this position, but like you said, turn one, you really want to play that ball, and if you don't see a ball or you don't see an East Shenron, it kind of puts you back down a turn, right? Like, it kind of feels like that Syn really just went second here.
Absolutely. It slows the game for him too much. There's too much aggression coming from GOGETA XENO. It's unfortunate to see that, yeah, he missed on that first turn.
Does have the 4 drop out now, and it's going to be Xeno's second turn, but yeah, Xeno looking in a dominant position. He's on 5 life as well, pretty much where he wants to be.
Yeah.
He's going to mill the top 5. He finds another Goku. He's got Trunks Overrealm. He's got the Koitsukai as well, which Koitsukai is going to be a dead card, and another thwarting is going to go into that as well. Hits a Trunks and hits a Goku. So, 2 out of 5 isn't the end of the world. Obviously, he's charged the Trunks into the energy because he's obviously got another Trunks in hand, but now he's just got another card for his energy on the next turn, and he is playing that Smoke Dragon Unison before it does get errated.
Which can do a lot of damage to the Syn Shenron deck as well, being able to remove the cards from the drop area, send them to the warp, and then prevent Syn Shenron from utilizing their effects, because there's so many cards that utilize the drop area. The 8-drop SR that can copy skills, the triple striker in energy, you send 7 Shadow Dragons to the warp. The leader has an inbuilt kind of drop area effect, being able to tap 6 to play 7 different Shadow Dragons.
Oh yeah.
If we can keep all of those cards in the warp, then it really does put Syn Shenron behind. So we see the Gogeta swing first. The auto would trigger warping the 4-drop. It looked like that he blocked with it, but the auto would trigger removing it first, allowing Syn Shenron to draw a card, play the 1-drop again.
Start the chain, yeah.
Yeah, but still having to deal with a double strike. I think we'll see GOGETA XENO potentially play a 1-drop that'll allow him to attack and take a life. And then he can awaken and then also utilize that attack on leader, because right now he can't attack with leader, but if he awakens, it'll be considered a new card and he will be able to attack. So it just depends on how much pressure he wants to put in. You see the awaken from Syn Shenron.
That is an early awaken. Obviously feels like he's going to get pressured a fair bit here.
Yeah, you don't want to get into a double strike range with a deck like a GOGETA XENO.
Yeah, and not when you've got 2 energy, like you're already on turn 2, right?
Yeah. We've seen a 9-drop come out, in energy. We've seen 1 4-drop get removed now. The deck generally runs, 3 or 4 copies of each, so they will still be available. But, that's definitely slowed him down. Look at the difference that this game would have been had he had established that 9-drop on turn 2 and found a way to remove that Gogeta XENO. You know, you're not worried so much about this barrier blocker, this barrier card, because he can't attack with it. It'll get removed by revenge. We're preventing the leader from being able to attack because all the skills will get negated. So you can't take any life with the 1-drops, things like that. You would have prevented that double strike from the thwarting. So it would have been a completely different game had that 1-drop come down immediately and had access to the 9-drops in.
Well, it's a whole turn ahead, right? Like he's a whole turn behind because he couldn't get that ball out.
Yeah. And in a control deck, that's crucial going up against aggro. We see a bit of a fan of the hand there. Does look like he has the 9-drop and a 4-drop available, but whether he wants to utilize that 2 energy to go into it, I feel like you need to use the haze to get rid of this thwarting.
Yeah, you've seen another one obviously go into the warp from the actual the mills from the top deck, so you'd know that 2 thwartings are out, and it all depends if he has another one in hand to kind of replace it with.
Yeah, if you get the 9-drop, you're not as worried about it coming back down again. But Syn Shenron just kind of needs to survive to that turn 4 and 5. At that point, you can kind of start getting a decent enough board that you can kind of mitigate all of the aggression off the GOGETA XENO. It's definitely a matchup that's favored towards the Syn, I feel, as long as you see the pieces. And Syn Shenron is one of the most consistent decks with Oceanus available as well, which we haven't seen get played or even in hand. So it's possible that he doesn't own Oceanus. Usually you want to be getting that into the drop area and utilizing that 8 drop pretty quickly to get a barrier blocker available.
We are going to see the 9 drop finally come out here, but the Kai in response.
Which isn't bad. It's going to allow, if he does choose to warp the 9 drop, Syn's going to be able to draw 2 cards, play a ball, and then get the 9 drop back at the end of turn. So the smarter choice here would be to choose nothing, not warp anything, which it looks like Blake's decided to do. So I know that Blake plays at Dandenong, and I believe that there are some Syn Shenron players there. So he probably is aware. With it. Yeah, bit aware of what he needs to do. And we see the pass from the Syn there.
Yep. They're going on to Xeno's 3rd turn now.
Yeah.
Hasn't awakened yet, but has met the criteria to awaken. So it's just going to be interesting on how much pressure he wants to really put here. I mean, 1 energy for the Syn Shenron player, already awakened as well. 3 life available. Sure, he does have the 9 drop on the field, but yeah, this is not looking good for Syn Shenron at this point. It really hurt him not being able to kind of use that first turn to its full potential, right? 1 energy in some decks is all they need to kind of get the game going. Especially this deck itself, like 1 energy turn 1 is so crucial. So having that kind of, well, I mean, if you're the Xeno player, you're laughing. You're playing from in front, and if you're the Syn Shenron player, you're spewing. You're very upset that you've just kind of been handed turn 1, but you still couldn't kind of capitalize on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I was saying, like, it's quite rare to miss on those cards because there's so many different
avenues
to find that 1 drop. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about Syn Shenron is it's such a defensive deck, utilizing its skill negation and blockers, that you aren't running that many negates because of it. You're opting to kind of rely on these battle cards that, if you're in a position where you don't have them set up, you're reliant on now just your combo power to survive. And that's what we're seeing now. You're not running any robotic riposte or flying nimbus has kind of come out now. We've seen forbidden power kind of float around these Syn Shenron decks. Freezer's army reinforcement pops up here and there. But we're relying on combo power at this point, and Blake's definitely realized that, and he's going to start putting some aggression on here.
Yeah. And I think he's still got 4 energy up, right? And he hasn't even awakened yet. So I thought he might have gone for the old... Oh, 3 energy. Sorry, yeah, he did go second. I thought he might have went for the, play a card for 1 energy, swing with the leader, then awaken, untap 1, draw 1. But looks like he's just opting to swing with the leader on the unawakened side with no energy to be untapped.
So the leader got tapped by the super combo from the Syn.
Whether
it was skill, steal, or skill something Chile. So that
makes a bit more sense.
To rest that. Yeah, Blake just trying to decide,
what route you take. Yeah.
Definitely seems like Syn Shenron's gone for that kind of control variant that he's decided to pass. Wow.
On 3 energy up.
Yeah, perhaps this didn't have anything worth playing, but it seems like that would have been the perfect turn to kind of push and not give Syn Shenron a chance to
reestablish. Yeah, I agree. He's only got the ball on the field. He had 1 energy left open. Yeah. I know Yellow obviously has access to a lot of really, really nice cards. But to pass as Xeno with 3 energy available, that's got to feel bad. I mean, it's kind of like kind of like saying, all right, you know, you kind of whiffed on your turn one. I'll pass it back to you, and we'll go back to where we should be sitting. But now, going to be super, super interesting to see how Syn Shenron kind of just, you know, accelerates from here, right? Like, he's just got a free turn back. He literally just got the freedom to be like, nothing happened at turn one. It almost looks like it's back to normal. It's back to the way that it was meant to be. You know, he's back to his, like, to make it look like that he's that he never missed on turn one.
It did cost him a few cards in hand, you know, trying to survive the thwarting and the SPR attack.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name for that one.
Miraculous
Revival, yeah, something like that. So it did cost him a few cards, but yeah, being
You're
able
happy
to
with it.
Yeah, go back to your turn.
Absolutely.
4 energy now. You can start re-establishing your defenses. And we did see the Salzino in the Syn Shenron's hand, the secret rare. We've got 12 on the field now. Doesn't have 5 energy to get the full effect.
Yeah,
but it is something that's going to be available.
Looming.
Yeah. Obviously, just such a massive hand from GOGETA XENO. And with cards like the Kai Negate and things like that, the Salzino is just not as safe as it once was.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not as lethal as it used to be, and I mean it's fine still. I mean, you still get to put on this much pressure, just from those 2 cards on the Syn board. He's going to burst.
I believe that's 3 4-drops in the drop area already. So probably only 1 more available.
You're right. Yeah, there is definitely 3 in there. Yep. Gonna play the promo.
Which could be why he decided to go for
the SR.
The 8-drop. Yeah. He's already looked through his deck. Perhaps he knows that the last one's in live.
Yeah.
We see the Nova utilize its skill, switch it to rest mode, burst 2, and you're able to play a 19k or less, 2 cost or more Shadow Dragon with a different name from any that you have on the field. Natron being a 15k double strike. When your opponent plays a battle card or unison, you may choose that card and switch it to rest mode. A really good kind of control card.
And you're just going to absorb the Oceanus here as well.
Yeah, give it barrier blocker, and when it attacks, you can switch a battle card to rest mode. If it's got an energy cost of 2 or less, you can KO it.
Yep.
Yeah, so
this is interesting.
Removing the thwarting.
So he used the super combo, obviously, to put the pressure on the thwarting. Didn't get the full effect of, obviously, the Zamasu super combo to tap down anything, but it was more just for the 10k. How do you, as you're a Syn player, right? How does it generally feel when you have to use the super combo and not get the full effect of, you know, let's say tapping down something, let's say using Poutine after, you know, just kind of using that to like an extra, like it's extra ability, you know what I mean? Like, how does it come across? Is it like it feels bad? Like, obviously he used it to get the combo power to get rid of thwarting, so it's not completely wasted, but you don't get the full effect.
Yeah, it's definitely rough. You know, you want to be utilizing those Zamasus on your opponent's turn, and, you know, best case scenario, switch their leader to rest mode, prevent them from getting that draw. Other than that, you know, I personally opt for the draw super combos for that specific reason. You know, sometimes you just need to get the full value out of your super combos, and when you're just using it for combo power, it can just be really rough. Yeah, absolutely.
And he's swinging, so he has Awaken on the leader now. Is he swinging with Miraculous?
I believe
he has taken the life, yeah. So he is in double strike range. He does have the blocker barrier still on the field as well. Syn Shenron probably just trying to get to that turn 6 to play all the dragons out. We did see, I mean, in his hand, I did see the Final Flash.
We've seen the Final Flash come down already, so probably negating the skills on the Miraculous.
Oh, and here we go, the next thwarting. So that's the 3rd one, if I'm not mistaken. We've seen one be milled. We've seen one on the field that he's gotten rid of, and now this is the 3rd one that he has played from hand. So most likely 1 left. I don't remember the last time I saw anyone not play 4 thwarting. I mean, he might be playing 3, but if you get rid of this thwarting on the field now, he does obviously have other options to kind of deal with that. True Fighting Spirit Goku is not limit 1 yet or unique yet. So there is still a lot that this deck can really do. I think if I am seeing correctly, we can't really see one of the battle cards on there because we are blocked a little bit. But that is that the 1-drop Goku?
Just the double striker,
The double striker? Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
So the double striker came down for 1 energy, was switched to rest mode with the Natron, then thwarting came and attacked, and now we're seeing the barrier blocker, Syn Shenron, block this attack, and Natron's been warped. He's decided not to combo to at least try and remove that 8-drop, which, the longer that sticks on the field, the worse, yeah, absolutely.
And he's going to overwhelm the Trunks in there as well for 3, just to put more pressure on, and he's going to combo. He's going to combo out of this. Yeah, you kind of have to. You're already in lethal range, especially with a deck like GOGETA XENO that has, double strikers. You've got barrier on the Miraculous Revival. If you, I think you do run 1 or 2 Champers. I honestly can't remember. I haven't played this deck since last year. But you're definitely in a spot that makes it hard because we obviously do see that he's running the Black Smoke Unison. We haven't seen a Unison actually come out yet. We did see a Kai get milled. I definitely did see that happen in like one of the first turns. Maybe just hasn't had the opportunity. He's playing the Pycon Unison as well. I mean, the leader has the availability to give it another 1k. Maybe that was the play. Maybe he was going to use the leader, take a life, give the double strike another extra 10k, maybe play the Kai and the Pycon if he has a Pycon Unison in the warp, and then kind of like buff it another 10k and really go for game and pressure it on there. But obviously it was rested as soon as it got played, so he might be just delaying a turn on that, and we're going to see another 1-star ball come down.
Yeah, and like we spoke about before, you're 1 turn away from having to deal with just a absolute onslaught of Shadow Dragons that restand at the end of turn. If Simon's able to defensively get through Blake's next turn, the odds of him winning are largely increased. So we see the 1-drop ball utilizing the promo. Now this does tend to just run as a one of being a deflect.
Yep.
It does have an added effect of, I believe you're able to choose one of your Shadow Dragons, put it in the drop area, choose one of your opponent's cards, switch to rest mode, and I think you can play 2 battle cards with 1000 power or less, or something along those lines, being 2 1-drop balls again. So we could see some kind of way to tap down Blake's energy and then go into a Cell Xeno. Could be the play. Or
I was just going to say,
perhaps even go Cell Xeno and sit behind a cooler counter with the 3 energy available. That could be, perhaps where he sees as the best way out.
Well, now he doesn't have the 12 on the board, right? So when he put the ball down, I was kind of thinking to myself, oh, maybe he does want to go for that play. But now he's kind of off a few numbers. He needs to kind of rework this if he wants to go for the Cell Xeno play on this turn. Because the numbers aren't really adding up here just yet to play that Cell Xeno. You do need 12 to play that onto the board, and I think we've got 2 8 costs here and a 3 cost as well. So 1 ball will do the trick if he wants to go into that line of play, or maybe a 4 cost as well, depending on what he's got. But right now, Cell Xeno is not online, but we do have the 5 energy to get the maximum out of it if it does come down.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot that Natron did get warped. I don't believe he's copied any skills off that Omega.
Not yet. Not that I can see, no.
Still in a pretty good position for this GOGETA XENO player. You were able to keep your battle cards on the field. They haven't had their skills negated. They haven't been removed, which is just less energy that you have to spend on your turn to reestablish them. We've seen some kind of good defensive cards that Syn has available being charged. We've got the Meki in the energy area. We saw the 5-drop freezer get charged as well, which is able to clear the board and be a nuisance if your opponent activates counterattack, being able to lock down 2 cards. And then having the blocker available on that as well. So a lot of good defensive cards that just haven't been able to hit the field. You know, we had the 9-drop was removed. Meki wasn't able to be established just because he awakened so early. And Simon's got to be thinking, how can I get through this next turn? You know, do you just try and clear board as much as possible? You know, remove thwarting, try and remove this miraculous SPR. Just do anything you can to basically survive.
I think you've hit the nail on the head here. He's really like searching through, trying to find the right move to make, right? Because you are both in a very, very tough position. Like Xeno can easily win on the next turn. Oh,
yeah. So he's desperate at this point. So utilizing the copy effect skill on the 8-drop, copying the Ice Shenron just because there's nothing else worth copying in the drop area. Although I think he could have copied the 4-drops in Shenron just to at least gain blocker, but he's not going to gain anything off the Ice Shenron, but purely just to take the life and
see if he can get something else. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think he's in a position where he needs to go all in on a Xeno, otherwise he's just not going to withstand the next turn. There is a Nova in hand, so that's 1 energy being able to play a 4-drop. So he will have the numbers for Xeno if it hits the field, but it's whether he's able to get it out or not. Also has the option to remove the 3-drops in Shenron and get a 1-drop ball onto the field. So there's definitely ways to get to 12. It's just whether that Xeno is able to close out the game. I'm not too sure how many cards Blake has in hand, but 3 will get ripped from the Xeno at random, which can be backbreaking. You know, to have. Ooh, and we see Panzino.
Yeah. Such a strong card that's added to this deck.
Absolutely. And if you don't have Cooler here, you're in a bit of trouble.
Well, is there any other counter plays that he can play here in Syn? Like, does Syn really run anything else that he can like counter with now? I don't really think so, right? Like
to stop the Panzino, you mean?
Yeah.
No, there's nothing else. You got to have that cooler.
Yeah. And this might be it. Like, you know, looking at the board from the Xeno player, yeah, he's ready for his next turn. You know, he's got thwarting, he's got pan, he can even steal the Shenron. He didn't activate the ability yet, so he doesn't have like blocker at least for next turn either to kind of stop an attack. I think it's just kind of like scrambling here to try and find some way to really do anything. To do anything here.
He has activated the ability. He just copied the ice and got no value off it. So it was purely just to draw that card from life.
Yeah.
We see the 1 energy for the Nova.
That does.
Perhaps realizing now that he's not able to attack with any battle cards for the turn. None of the hands hit the field, so
fighting against it.
Yeah. He hasn't untapped the energy.
Yeah.
Perhaps still deciding whether he wants to play it or not. But okay, so they've just established that pan doesn't negate the attack. The attack was still going through.
Yeah, which is maybe why he's taken it back instead of going through something else.
Yeah. Okay, so there's Nova hitting the field.
But yeah, I can't really see many cards in Simon's hand, but it doesn't really look like he's got too many defensive options once this turn is over.
Yeah, and like I was saying about Syn, you're just not running that many hard negates because you're relying on your battle cards to kind of... Yeah, so it's just adding insult to injury.
Yeah. Such a really good card. I think, the toolbox that Black has really yeah, really does make it such a strong color, and it feels like a set go on. It makes it stronger. Like, it's starting to get cards that other colors have already had, right? Like, talking about, you know, the new Dabura extra card that is its own army reinforcements, or, you know, testing the opposition. You know, being able to do that in black now as well, like, is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you know, the topo negate as well coming through in the next set.
I believe the
Oh, the pan, yeah,
is
a little bit different.
just to the Trunks leader.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then we've had the poutine that was locked to the Mecha Kabura
leader. Yeah,
so
sorry, yeah, good point.
They have been a bit resistant to give black.
Yeah, a generic one that does it. Yeah, I don't blame them. But I mean, you know, Trunks looking absolutely ridiculous in the next set anyway. So to give that leader a specific, you know, Boo Topo kind of thing.
Yeah, we see
is
the Dragon
still...
Thunder get utilized here, which is a awesome extra card for Syn Shenron. So Dragon Thunder is a extra card that allows you to give one of your Shadow Dragons in your battle area or leader area 5k for the turn for 1 energy. You can activate it for free if you have 3 energy in rest mode. And if you pay the energy cost for it, you can also choose one of your opponent's battle cards and negate its skills for the turn. So it does a great deal, and that costs a lot of cards just to get through that thwarting attack. With so many attacks still available,
yeah,
I think
1
it's
life.
Only a matter of time until Blake's able to deal with the finishing blow here.
Well, he's still got 5 energy up as well, which is always scary. Always scary. He's drawing there. He's still got yeah, the Goku on the field again. No unison yet, unless the 1 tap now. Oh, he's still in his back phase. Yeah, he's gonna go try and finish this off. And oh no, he's just 30k. Wait, is that on the thwarting or the leader? It's got to be the leader.
Turn. Yeah, Gogeta's turn, attacking into lead.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to see.
Yeah, I do think that this Syn Shenron was looking for a way before to tap those 2 energy and then go into a Cell Xeno. But yeah, it just wasn't able to get there. Utilizing the Trunks, which is a pretty little cheeky one of
a bit of tech. Yeah, that you don't normally see.
To overwhelm and then pick up a card from the warp. So that's one thing that Syn Shenron lacks, is that once your battle cards hit the warp, there's no way to get them back. And you burst a lot in this deck as well. That if you burst your secret rare, or if you burst cards that you need, they're gone. You know, so Trunks gives you that extra copy and that option to get them back. But that's it. Gogeta Xeno is able to close it out.
That is round 2. Syn Shenron versus Gogeta Xeno. This is obviously pre-ban list. This is pre-side deck best of 1 that Bandai has introduced into the new fest. We will be going into the interview stages of things, so stay tuned, guys. We will get Blake in, and we will be able to pick his brains on, I guess, what he thinks of the deck. How he thought the matchup went, and everything in between. So stay right there, and I will transition us over. Hello, sir.
Hola.
Welcome. Congratulations on the second round, taking out Syn Shenron.
I'm gonna wipe that game from my memory.
How you feeling?
I'm a terrible pilot. This is just because Benny built the deck. That's why it's good.
got to give shout outs wherever you can. I like it. Yeah, Xeno obviously putting in work. We obviously can see why it's very, very strong, and why it obviously needed to kind of get touched on the upcoming ban list that came through. How did you feel sitting down and seeing that Syn matchup when you kind of went to the table itself? Like, were you kind of worried? Have you played against Syn enough to kind of feel like you were comfortable knowing what their line of play was, that that maybe you had an upper hand, or what was going through your mind?
Absolutely nothing, because the last time I played Gogeta was actually against you in the Xeon tournament, and I haven't touched it since.
yeah, wow.
I was sitting here and I was like, do I play GX or do I play Android 21 today? And like, Android 21 I've been playing at my local, so it's kind of burnt out a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely fair enough. I mean, we've kind of all spoken about this a fair bit. We've got a week left until pre-release, and we'll be into the new meta, we'll be into the new leaders, we'll have some fresh blood injected. I'm honestly very, very excited. I can't wait. When on the first turn, right? You obviously went second. He won the dice roll. He didn't play a ball with that energy. From that point on, did you just feel like the game kind of transitioned into your favor, or were you kind of, I guess, just trying to still take it, one step at a time, trying to figure out your game plan and what you were going to be planning to do with it?
One step at a time, because the one thing against Syn is if you're not cautious, you'll just get caught with a haze, and then it's like, I died.
That is very true.
So I had to and having not played the deck in a long time, it had to be something that I was very cautious on, because I played Syn, and I know that most of the times you'll sit there with a haze and you're like, this is my trump card against all these aggro people who just mindlessly dump.
And Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we did see a haze actually used in that matchup, did we?
No, he at the end of the game, he did go through his deck and I think revealed about 3 of them that just didn't come up.
Yeah.
Wasn't able to see any of them, but I think he did an excellent job at
absolutely
kind of not giving him the opportunity to haze you as well. Not comboing largely into your higher energy cost battle cards, going for game on leader and things like that. So just a really great job at kind of mitigating any option for him to haze.
This deck is very. It's not. I don't think it's a fair deck at all. Like, the amount of insane value you get from just doing small minimal things is ridiculous.
Yep. And now that you've obviously played it, I know you mentioned that you haven't really played it enough. Since the time that we obviously versed, which was end of last year sometime.
Still relevant.
Yeah, exactly. That was quite a long time ago. So now that you've kind of had it back in your hands, you've kind of seen the power that it does have. Talk to me about the upcoming ban list. Do you think it's enough for Xeno? Do you think that... I mean, we all agree, I'm sure, unanimously, that it definitely needs to get hit some way, shape, or form. I don't think anyone's gonna deny that. But do you think that now that you've kind of played it again, it's fresh on your mind, do you think that hitting the trunks and also hitting the Goku and giving it unique or limit 1 is enough for people to push off that deck?
I don't think so, because it's still the best aggro deck. I've tested with the new trunks trying to see if that's aggro enough, and you pretty much just splash in the Gogeta engine to it and you're like, oh, this is great.
Yep.
But the trunks is definitely something that should have gone. It didn't seem all that great when it was released, but a deck that can abuse it like this.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be a thing. And I predominantly play yellow, so I'm glad that True Fighting is gone, to a 1 at least. There's nothing worse than having to warp 3 cards so I can play a card.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people will probably say the same thing about all you yellow players. We get annoyed that you have every extra card under the sun that does way too much, way more than it should for 1 energy. But yeah, I definitely agree with you on the trunks. At the time, it was kind of like, meh, whatever. But having that thwarting package and, having the thwarting package that didn't get touched and allowing that trunks to kind of continue on and just, be around while thwarting gets another 3 months worth of play and all this new black support come in with the trunks leader and stuff like that. I definitely do agree that trunks was a very good hit. I think you're absolutely spot on with that. And I definitely agree that, it needed to go. And I am going to be very, very interested to see if Gogeta Xeno still kind of makes its mark somewhere. I still think the deck is still pretty strong. I think some of the new black support, kind of can bring it up to another level. I don't know if it's going to be at the level it is now, but I definitely do think that it might still see play in some of these tournaments that are coming up. I know we've obviously got a regional coming up in the month of March. There was no news that if this upcoming set is going to be legal or not. I would imagine it is, but that'll kind of give us a better understanding and a better idea of where these old meta decks fit into the new meta. So I love seeing new things. I love seeing, you know, the meta kind of shift, and I know I've tweeted this multiple times. I'm over this meta. I feel like it's been dragged out. I think we've seen it too much in a short period of time, that, you know, we can finally put Icarus and Xeno to rest and see some fresh blood in. So I'm very excited, and yeah.
I don't think Xeno will disappear because it's got a lot of new tools to like help it go more mid-range than aggro, because now you've got your own token negates.
Yeah.
You've got your own, and then it's got the new trunks in it that just like refills the drop and the warp, and it helps you abuse a lot easier.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people will just go to the other trunks over them. I think it's from set 7. That's just draw 2, pitch 1. And it will just keep cycling as long as it's consistent enough. I think that as much as Gogeta is like my favorite character from the franchise, I think that the thwarting card needs to be like unique, like limited to 1 per deck. It's too oppressive for what it does. You slam it down for 1 energy, like what else? And it's
on turn 1 sometimes.
It's too much, and because you can recur it so much in the deck, it doesn't seem fair when you have it on the field.
No, I mean, I think 80% of us players thought that somehow thwarting was going to get touched in some way, shape, or form. Let it be limit 1, let it be, you know, it's already got unique anyway, or maybe an energy requirement, you know, to say you have to have 2 energy before you can play it on the field. I think we all had the same kind of idea, same kind of line of thought. And then when the ban list came out, it was kind of like, well, you didn't touch the engine. Now, going forward, any black decks that come out that are Saiyans, you know, or that can warp or mill very quickly, have the ability to kind of chuck that package in, and it kind of feels like you're absolutely right. It's not going to go anywhere. I feel like it's definitely going to be very prominent in the upcoming set specifically. I don't know if they're going to touch it in the next ban list, depending on if they see play. But it is readily available, so anyone that wants to play black can literally pick up a playset of thwartings now for $20, if that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I think they obviously went the route of everyone can play it rather than we're going to ban it because it's too crazy. But yeah, definitely keen to see. We've only got a week or 2 left until that set obviously fully finishes. Blake, thank you so much for joining us for the interview today. Congratulations again on round 2. Very, very big possibility that we might see you later down the track for another interview, and good luck for the rest of the day, man.
All right, have a good day, guys.
Take care.
Yeah.